Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, as a human being, we have to interact with the people, right? And when we are interacting with the people, we can work together when our preferences are matched, when our thinking are in the same level. And sometimes we are not able to match our preference, and when we are not able to, you know, be in the same line of thinking, there is conflict. And when the conflict resurface in the communication, there's a shift in the energy. There's a shift uh, in the mood in us, right? The moment before of the conflict, everything was cool, but the conflict just changes our mood, changes our energy. We have moved from the lightness to the darkness, and that outer experience actually becomes our uh, inner journey of you know inner journey of mental narration. That we start to create a story in our own heads, you know on that situation. Yes, we might be thinking on how to dissolve the situation and make things better, but most of the time, the story we write is how to win the game. Now, in the relative sense, yes, it's about making things better, it's about upgrading, it's about winning, if that's what we're thinking. Yeah, it can be. But when you come to spiritual awakening, spiritual enlightenment, we can investigate why we face the conflict. What's the reason behind this fight? If we start to think like this, then we can encounter that, because of the preference we hold, because of the certain belief we hold, we can figure out that holding on to certain belief and preferences is making us fight with the world. And once we see, because of certain belief and preference, there's a fight, then we can investigate why we hold on to this belief, why this belief is important. And that way we can figure out the further layers behind that, that trigger point, and freedom is about, especially the mental freedom is about going further back on our boundary, further back on our belief that we maintain, the preference that we maintain. And that's the way to see the fear, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of something, And once we see the fear, we have to also investigate on the fear. We have to dismantle the fear by tracing the fear backward. And that's the way to go all the way to the no mind. And no mind is, true freedom in a spiritual context. So the outer conflict, is a way to figure out the root cause of the conflict. And if you go further back on the root, is the way to be spiritually free. As I mentioned in the previous video, in lots of my videos, that we can go inward, we can create an inward journey from any situation in our lives, and investigating on the conflict, which happens all the time. And because of that conflict, we create so much drama in our own head, and we stress ourselves with that conflict. And investigating on the day-to-day life conflict, can be a good good way to see the causes, the cause of the conflict. And again, if you investigate further on the root, that is the way to be free within. And when we understand ourselves through the investigation, when we understand the nature of the mind, when we see the truth, that understanding gives us the true freedom within. And when we are totally free inside, then we understand the outer world, we understand the mind that is present outside. We understand, and from that understanding, we know how to be flexible with the people, because we have, well, the journey, backward journey, is about dissolving the ego. And when we dissolve the ego, then we can be part of the world, the egotistical world, in a non-conflicting way. There's always going to be some level of struggle. There will be a conflict always available in the world, but we don't have to lose ourselves from the conflict that is present in the world. You know we can find the ease even in the conflict, and that can only happen when you see the truth within, you know and that's it. That is itself is inner freedom. That itself is enlightening oneself, and that's that, guys. So one thing, whatever we go through in life can be, a way to come home to oneself, to see the truth of who we are, to see the plain sight truth. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope whatever I'm sharing here makes sense to you in some level, and I hope you're enjoying the inward journey. Keep going, keep tracing back, and your sincere work will not fail you to see the plain sight truth. Take care for now. Bye.